just going to go down in time. This is an
What happened? Graced up there. Oh, Dicey.
Oh my God, J-Mo, the champion of this one.
Oh, Asano! He gets the triple off the rocket. It's the fourth.
Hello everybody in TGIF as we've got day number 2 of the VALORANT Champion Series here at the closed qualifiers. I'm Alan I hold shift on it for you. With me, Kevin Averill Walker, as will be joining you for the next 2 games, and the only 2 games that we actually have today. It's going to feel like we're getting cheated here. It's going to feel like a little bit of a short day here, Kev, but how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, it's going to be a long day of matches, I guarantee you that one. We've got some really spicy stuff coming up today. A great tournament I think we've had so far in VCT NA. Yesterday's results were really interesting. I mean, especially, for some of the teams that we'll be seeing today. Luminosity one more time. Luminosity once again sending Sentinels down into the lower bracket.
We had a lot of surprises, not just in the open qualifiers, but that continued here in the closed qualifiers as well. But of course, you might be tuning in for the first time. You might not know what the difference between the open qualifiers and closed qualifiers are, and what exactly are we playing for outside of the big prize pool here just for this opening weekend here when it comes to the closed qualifiers here in Challengers. So with that in mind, take a listen to Riv. What he has to say about how VCT is going to be working throughout this split.
Welcome to the VALORANT Champions Tour, a year-long tournament circuit featuring the best players and teams from all over the world, culminating in a global championship event, VALORANT Champions. Each stage begins with challengers, where teams compete in regional tournaments for a place at Masters. Teams who compete in Masters events will earn points that help them qualify for Champions. And Champions is where the best teams from around the world compete on a global stage, where the art of greatness is on full display. And one team will be crowned 2021 VALORANT Champions.
So we find ourselves here, Kevin, just in the opening stages. Literally, we've only cracked the door open for what the entire year is going to be. But the door is inching a little further open every single day we go through this. Yesterday, we took a look at the opening quarterfinals from the upper bracket and the opening rounds from lower bracket round 1. But of course, here on Friday, we'll be dealing with our instances of the semifinals, both here on the mainstream and as well on Nerd Street Gamers 2. And then to follow things up, we'll be again eliminating another team here from the closed qualifiers, just short of being able to qualify for that Masters opening event in just a couple of weeks.
That's the thing, right? We're playing for the actual qualification into Masters here. To get to that, you need to be top 4 at this event to be able to go to the next closed qualifier number 2 in Challenges, top 4. From then, we'll be able to qualify into our first Masters event for the VCT. And of course, going through Masters, getting the points is what's going to get you into the Champions Tour, final at the end of the year as well. That's what everyone is playing for. And like I said, opening the door, cracking open the door, and we've already into the sort of stage where we've sent a couple of teams homes even yesterday.
No, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of big names that are missing just from this instance of the closed qualifiers. No Renegades, no FaZe Clan, no TSM, no Cloud9 Blue. The list goes on and on. We could talk about it all day long, but here's the bracket that we have in this closed qualifier and what we did from the first day now coming into the second. Again, Immortals X set a lengthy game that opened things up for us for a best of 3. Immortals will now be taking on Gen G as Gen G Esports got past NRG in their opening quarterfinal. But for us, we're actually focused on what's going on with Envy and LG. Luminosity, I think they really just peeled eyes open when they came to the Winter Championships here with Nerd Street Gamers. They continue to be hot as they find the 2-0 versus Sentinels yesterday. And now, of course, Envy looking to, again, put themselves in another grand final so they can find a way to take them down here. Those, again, will be played simultaneously. So if you're looking for that other game, make sure you head over to NSG2. And then to go down to the lower bracket, we'll be dealing with what's happening here. It will be actually XSET versus the loser of the game that we have here between Luminosity and Envy. And then, of course, on NSG2, Sentinels will be taking up against the loser of the other winner semifinal, Kev.
And we talk about the losers that have already gone home here as well. NSG going down to Exit yesterday. Ambox down to Sentinels as well. So, we cast the Ambox versus Sentinels game, and Sentinels are still definitely here to play. They want their revenge. They want to make sure they can get through this bracket. They had, another upsetting loss to Luminosity. At this stage, they've lost to them twice. So I do wonder, look, is this going to be the case where Luminosity can beat Sentinels? Sentinels might actually be still the best team in the region, but they keep losing to Luminosity. When you actually zoom in on this particular matchup, though, Shiv, we got Envy and Luminosity here, and that's going to be a rematch of the Open Qualifier as well in the quarterfinals. Envy and Luminosity have played each other not that long ago. It's pretty recent, 2-0 in favor of Envy. So you got another question on your hands now. This Luminosity squad, you're about to see on your screen here. Are they the real deal? Yes, they can consistently beat Sentinels at least twice in a row in recent showings, but they need to also beat teams like Envy, which they failed to do in the Open Qualifier.
Oh, look, I mean, these Luminosity guys, they love being the underdogs. I mean, it just feels like every time they go and play against a major squad in a lot of people's minds and they beat them, it's immediately onto Twitter just saying, keep on sleeping on us. We love being in this position where people are ruling us out. So we will do you a favor here, LG, and not rule you out. Because let's be honest, every time we've had a chance to cast over Luminosity guys or watch over them in the last couple of weeks and months, they have impressed every single outing that they've had. So for Envy on the other side, again, they boast a pretty long successive history when it comes to recent tournament results. Of course, coming out of the Open Qualifiers, they did get to that Grand Finals where they dropped in 4 games to Immortals. But like you mentioned, they were able to play through Luminosity to 2-0 success. So that's really what I think we're really looking at. Of will there be a reprisal of what happened just a couple of weeks ago, or will this be something new? As far as what we're going to assume here, I figure we're going to see a lot of what happened the last time around, mostly because the maps we're going to be on are largely the same from what they played in that instance during the Open Qualifiers.
I'm going to say one more thing is here as well. You talk about, maybe giving Luminosity a little bit of an edge. To actually give them an edge would be, to me, sleep on them again, because every time I've slept on them, somehow they've managed to win. So I'm going to keep snoozing. As long as I keep snoozing on Luminosity, apparently they're going to keep winning. So that's that might just be the boost they need to actually get past a team like Envy here, because a team that can 2-0 Sentinels, you do expect that you don't go 0-2 down to Envy. You should be able to take a map off them. Interesting here is that Envy are going to be having Icebox as their permaban. Now look, especially versus a team like Luminosity, who did win Icebox against Sentinels yesterday, that seems like a pretty reasonable ban. Haven has been one of the more common bans for Luminosity. It's not their permaban. They've also banned some other maps in there, but now they're going to put Haven into a little bit more consistency in terms of bans. Split's not going to be another interesting map. That's going to be number 3 in terms of the maps that we'll be seeing in this best of 5, or best of 3 here, rather. And for Luminosity, they also took down Sentinels on that particular map. So if we do get to map number 3, that could be a good one for Luminosity.
Yeah, Bind and Split were the 2 maps that were played in their first instance, as you mentioned. So Ascent will be a fresh look as far as these 2 teams squaring up against each other, at least here in this Challengers season. But it's not an unfamiliar map if you've watched Envy or LG, because they both have some pretty darn good rehearsal on it. Envy specifically, they played it almost exclusively in every single matchup that they had, save the Luminosity matchup and the NRG matchup, and they found a lot of success there. And it's not just in this VCT series that they've played and found success. Even during the First Strike series, Envy, they you baked the bread and churned their own butter when it came to their success on this map. A 15-4 overall total there. But even for LG, again, this is going to be likely a pretty even matchup for us, because this is also a very popular map for their taking as well.
Interesting enough, but LG actually banned Ascent versus Envy the first time they matched up that we saw in the Open Qualifier. So we didn't get to see this kind of performance come through. We didn't get to see what LG could do on this map versus a team like Envy. So this is going to be a little bit different. They've decided not to ban Ascent this time. They decided Haven was going to be a map they weren't going to go to. And Haven was actually a map they didn't get to play against Envy last time either, as far as I can remember, if I go back to that result. So yeah, looking over this particular matchup, one thing I'm going to point out straight away is that Sick will be starting on, I believe, Food will be starting on the Phoenix here. He has been playing both Breach and Phoenix on this map, so he'll just be choosing this one around. And for Crashies, he's probably the player I'm looking out for the most. He's been performing really good so far in VCT. Every time I looked at tape for Envy, every time I've watched this team play, Crashies has been super consistent, has been always a solid player that you can rely on.
And that Breach pick, we really only saw it come through when Envy was playing up against Immortals in the finals of the Open Fires. It just didn't really seem to fit their normal play style. I mean, it's usually been heavily tool duelist for them. Largely in the past, it's mostly been the Phoenix, but they have been known to also pull up the Reyna. But so I think it was just kind of testing things out, seeing how that strategy worked versus a top team. And, well, it didn't really come out all that successful for them. So we'll see how things kind of unfold. It will be Envy on the defense first, Luminosity on the attack. And we've got a 4-man stack over through A long. Aldrin will be here to scout things out initially. And they will also see that the Jet player is inside with the Ghost. The big question, though, is do they use that information and convert on it? Or will they try to flush this kill out before they make a call? And, well, the damage is actually great initially, but Food is still nearby to contest.
So Mummy's on 20 HP right now, not ideal for the opening pistol, takes a bunch of damage. They've confirmed that there is at least 2 members of LG hanging out outside A main. Looking to see if we can pop down some extra utility. Envy have basically got the whole squad here now. 4 out of 5 members, and the hits coming through.
And 2 kills immediately. Caboose from Trees able to respond to 1, but is tagged up in the process. Doors shutting on the play. That will result for another elimination for LG. Now a 4v2, and Stellar will freely get this spike planted. An exchange of shock darts coming through. Neither are going to hit with much success. Crashes up top, though. Will find 1. Going to be immediately reach out, but is able to keep his life. So now a 2v3, and Envy's retake is going to try to play this together. And maybe an instance where you just want to try to bait out Crashies, who's only on 4 points of health. But it looks like Finesse will be the first one to come in. Moose holding on to a recon bolt will toss it. The dark cover will keep them concealed for now. Crashes on the way in. Not going to get the better of Dre, and Moose will clean things up in the back, and that will lead to an LG pistol win with 3 members surviving.
A really difficult situation there towards the end of 2v3 where you have a member on 1 HP as well. Well, 4 HP, but technically doesn't really make a difference.
Let's give it 1.
1 bullet's
Might
going
as
to
well
take
be
you
1.
down regardless. And at that stage in time, I mean, could they have swung on the same guy? Could they maybe have gone for at least 1 more trade there? I don't think they would have won that last round outside of some really extreme good play coming through for Finesse, particularly on full health. But moving into round number 2 now, already coming through with a Vandal for your boy Dre. So looking towards some good purchases moving into the eventual round 3. They'll have, if successful here for LG, walking through with at least a Bulldog and a Vandal into that 3rd round, which is going to be very important. But let's see how clean they can get through this now anti-eco.
Dre has played really well in tournament play over the last couple of weeks. He was one of the key components for LG on their run through the Winter Champs in my mind. Thief just trying to spam through the dark cover. Couple of tags onto Food, but he's able to collect the ultimate orb and then immediately pack backwards. So it will be still a 5v5, and LG continuing to kind of play passively, searching for information. The spike still left backside Gelato.
Moose as well has been really good at the clutches. He's been a solid player for the LG side of things. You watch that series versus Sentinels, you know Moose was all over the show there. Big part of the reason why LG have been on the up and up. And a lot more restraint coming through this round as well, waiting to see if Envy were going to make any aggressive plays. They tried to put a little bit of damage onto Food as he goes for the ultimate orb. Just small things that Envy are trying to get in this particular round. And as we get towards the sort of middle of the round here in terms of timing, at least Finesse is pushed up in the middle, so pretty confident nothing's happening in mid. No camera set up for B, though, as far as I can tell. So at this stage in time, Envy are going to be gamble stacking 4 members on A, hoping it's not going to be B. We'll receive the bad news in just a moment.
30 seconds left.
So it now just comes down to the question of how do you retake, because this is absolutely, as you mentioned, a free site. And outside of the Al drone and the paint shells, I largely would assume that LG have not really needed to use much utility. So you've got Finesse on the flank. There is a trap wire here to slow him down. And watching this play is going to be Stellar, as he's just responsible for B main. The door on market will also come to a close. So it's going to have to be down to efficient trades, and your best hope of getting weapon is on the Stellar, but he will find 1 and a second nice little headshot to come through, and then quickly after, the rest of LG get activated, and they flawlessly take the 2nd round.
Yeah, there it is. Question answered. Free plant on towards B. Everybody from Envy tries to retake, I mean, simultaneously with the pistols, but really not enough damage done. They can't really do enough there. You look at Stellar's POV, instantly connecting all the headshots required on the Spectre there. So, Envy not going to be getting too much out of that particular round. Only 2 kills from their place. Crashies and Caboose pick one up over towards the pistol round. Full rifles now abound. No ultimate timings for either team, particularly. Maybe Thief 2 away from the Empress could find something in terms of an orb and a kill. We'll see if LG are going to be doing any sort of speeding up here, being the team that don't have the best equipment compared to what Envy have got to bring to bear. No early information for Envy outside the fact that they do have Caboose hanging out inside Y, so fairly confident nothing's happening A main.
An aggressive hit. Finesse has been completely paranoid, and Dre will take good on the kill. Mummy needs to respond to a couple, only finds 1. That the question now is, will that be good enough? You still have Food who's nearby. He'll find 1 elimination. Wanted to challenge the plant. That will not come through, and an unfortunate shock dart connecting with the roof means that Crashies cannot confirm any damage either. So, for Envy, it's a 2v2 situation. As Crashies takes down Thief, just kind of peeking over through the staircase. Stellar backing up a little bit. Nice paranoia. Will connect onto 1. Proto up top, though. Will find both. And, okay, so as much as I was praising your boy Dre, it's actually Proto. If you were to look at the stats of how things have gone for LG open over the open and now close qualifiers, he's actually leading an overall ADR for his team. An incredible stat line for your Sentinel player.
Well, I think for all of LG, I mean, the entire team has been really stepping up to the plate, which is, again, why they can have great results. But consistency versus a team like Envy is now going to have to be the name of the game, and they've got that number 3 round, that very important one. So Envy are going to have to go for another eco. They can get they'll get 4, working towards the 5. They can really crush the economy of Envy if they start to get a couple more rounds together. Thief has now definitely found the timing on the Empress. We'll be saving that one for the actual gun round. For Envy, looking to see how much damage we can do here. Will they be the ones trying to speed up here? Will they want to go aggressive on this particular save? Getting any sort of ultimate charge here, working on getting some free guns as well. Envy definitely needs to start stringing some rounds together.
Yeah, this round I feel like you just need to punish as much as you possibly can. You're not expecting to take this 4th round, but if you can keep the LG economy somewhat at bay, it would be helpful. Because here's the bad news, Avril. LG's worst side on Ascent, by far, is their offense. Only winning 43% of the time. It's their defense where they really thrive. 75% win rate through the 3 instances that they've played so far in the VCTs. So Envy need to find a way to at least go 50-50 on this offense if possible. Or probably on their defensive side if possible.
So what you're telling me is on this offense, LG will win like 5 rounds and then lose 7 or something like that. So the stat all have to see as they go through in towards straight. I mean, this is not going to be the round they lose, is it? Because they got 2 already. The versing pistols. Everyone's being healed back up. I say everyone, I'm really talking just about Thief here. 1 last player alive. Finesse will get 1, and that's going to be it. So 4 players alive. We'll be able to rebuy here. Economy not really punished, I don't think. Ultimate charge being gained for the rest of LG here. And this is going to be quite a bloody round now because most players are fairly close to confirming those ults. I mean, he's going to go towards the jet operator as well, which is going to be something LG need to be able to handle.
How clean have LG been here, though? I mean, they've only given up 6 deaths in 4 rounds. Now, granted, you win the pistol, you get a flawless second. Okay, that's relatively to be expected, but we need to see something from Envy right now. Again, you just do not want to allow LG to win many more offensive rounds because if their defense continues to be good, that is not a great start for Envy. So, required round in my mind here for round number 5 for Envy to grab. They have a run it back they could potentially use. Food was considering an aggressive challenge, but does get tagged up by a dart, so he'll back down. Mummy watching the middle of the map. And the Aldrone here will actually, it should scout out. Thief being in the corner. Run it back will come through. Nice help from Finesse to make sure that his teammate will stay safe. And first blood will be confirmed for Envy.
Really important there. Food could have died if he got swung on. Over towards mid as well. Thief, I don't think, was tagged by the drone at all. I'm not too sure what happened there, but in either case, Mummy isn't going to get a shot off. They don't actually know Mummy's sniping just yet. They'll find out in a moment if the sight lines do cross. Thief could be the first one in the LOS of Mummy, who has been waiting to find any play over Crossman. Nearly had sights on Stellar on Food now, looking for a swing, and there's so many players inside B main, and Food finds out that bad news. He goes down Finesse by himself now on B.
And that's going to be the opening of the site. Thief is just roaming by A, so for him to find 1 kill in response is actually brilliant for the side of LG, because now all of a sudden Envy, they don't know if this is a full hit over towards B or if this is going to be a wrap back to A. They kind of have to hold their ground in both locations, and we'll see it here quickly, left. Kevin. It's going to be an instance over towards A, and Thief is up top, making sure that the top catwalk stays safe. He'll see 1 for free, easy kill there, takes the peek. Mummy not able to connect, and that will result in a dismiss away and a 3v2 for LG as they get the spike planted.
Thief in such a good positioning here. If it wasn't really for Thief, I think Mummy could do a lot more damage. Has the line of sight over into tree. Picks up the spike carrier, now looking for the long flank from Finesse. Going over towards A-man. That is not where LG is, so they can maybe set up a bit of a play here. Has been smoked out, so LG identifying that they do not have control over that side of the map. It's going to be a full post plant on the actual site itself. Mummy has limited space to work with here. So many players LG that he has to deal with, and well, he's going to get taken down almost immediately. So Finesse has to start thinking, do I save this rifle? 700 credits in the bank, only 70 HP. He's going to be contacted, instantly taken down by Thief, or kills this round. Doesn't have to use the Empress, and LG walk away with 3 alive.
Big round right there for LG. And relatively clean throughout as well. It's largely on Thief, who just roams past, finds a couple of kills on the backside by A freely, but I'm kind of more focused on Food. He uses the run it back, he tries to clear out B main, gets shut down. Fortunately, he's got help from behind, but then he takes a secondary peek, doesn't curveball it, nothing. He just kind of dry peeks a shoulder, and that's the end of his life. And in a 5v4 situation, I think there's something to be said about not needing to take that challenge in a full gun round that, again, we've kind of framed up that they arguably really needed to win. So we'll see if he can kind of bounce back here. Boombot will clear some space, and of course LG will confirm that this will be a light buy situation for Envy's defense.
To speak to maybe his mindset a little bit there as well for food over towards B, just hoping that no one was going to be there, checking for information. Speaking of info, that's going to be gained by Crashies, who was only one away from his Hunter's Fury previously, so Moose down. Important for MV to get a bit of a lead here. That's going to be a gun on the ground if they can maybe go towards that later. Caboose is guarding it, or Caboose is going to be looking for that gun in just a moment. Just the rest of LG heading over towards B.
Proto's still in the corner, sees the shoulder of one. Finesse takes a couple of pop shots and then immediately backs down. Hot hands, just barely not good enough. As you could probably feel the residual heat, but it's more of a sauna than an actual bloodbath there. Caboose, long-range angle, as he flanks around from spawn, is able to find one. So that's going to put LG in a little bit of a panic. Mummy, right-click, good for the headshot. One more contestant nearby. Right, misses the second right-click, and now all of a sudden there's an opportunity for Stellar to maybe to try to make a play to A, but he will be challenging Envy. A very big bounce-back thrifty round for them there to get on the board.
And so much of this comes down to Crash. He's the opening kill on the Hunter's Fury after getting a tag on the Al drone as well. Drops a gun for Caboose. Caboose gets 2 kills with that. Mummy with a kill onto the Blaze Storm as well, which is always going to be a big weapon, or a big ultimate for you to be able to use on a save. And off the back of a bunch of that being played together, I mean, Caboose in the right position to steal away the gun, gets the timing onto Dre. Everything in terms of finding actual timings versus a team like LG. Yeah, MV get those. A little bit surprising Mummy doesn't connect the second right click, but if he did, that would have been even more disastrous. That he will now have the operator again. So once more, we'll be seeing if anyone walks into the sightlines. He's holding over towards A main. No one here for now. They have information that A main will be clean for the time being. It's going to be B main that will be the question mark. And Crashy's the first one to take a bit of a peek. Al drone should confirm a couple members.
That's an interesting little bit of a double utility being used over towards B main. It was a hot hands and a shock dart. And I would say fortunate for LG, they were playing passive, because otherwise, all 5 of these members that are stacked here could have been tagged up pretty heavily. So now the Aldrin will be the first one forward. What will be their huge information, but no one can really follow up after it. Now we've got a big showstopper coming out for Dre as he just blast packs forward. That should be 1 kill, trying to get the second. No Crash will respond, but he's only able to take down 1. And as Finesse tries the challenge, he also drops, leaving LG with a 4v2 post-plant situation.
Still ultimates available as well. LG, if they really feel the pressure, they can go towards the Empress, but I don't think it's going to be popped this round. No, Mummy will be going down as well. Can't find too much luck on the operator. Has had like 1 kill previously. Thief and the rest of LG don't even want it. He would probably be the sniper of anyone on this team. I mean, Thief would be playing the, Jet on every other map. Doesn't feel the need to do so on this particular one. And 6-1 so far in the round score. Envy, after getting 1 great kind of half-buy round previously on their actual gun round, it's a bit disappointing. They won't be able to buy again. Stinger for Mummy, though. This time won't have the Blade Storm. This says the only ultimate for the side of Envy, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
Shadows traveling.
Oh boy. What a start this has been from LG, and it's not just the fact they're up 6-1, it's the fact that there haven't really been that many contested rounds. They've done it so darn cleanly. So you've got the Empress as mentioned. Maybe not a requirement for this round, considering it is a bit of a broken buy here for Envy's defense. But do you need it to kind of punch the 7th round home, I think is the bigger question.
Oh, Envy have 4 guns still, I think, so.
Yeah, but one of them is, I think, just an SMG, and there's a couple of light armors maybe on the table. Didn't get a chance to fully see it, but regardless, still a more powerful position. But how about it? Caboose, Mummy able to find 2. That could be a Stinger upgrade. Finesse able to find 1 more, so now all of a sudden, Envy on this little split buy situation looking very strong, but Proto will return 1 kill to make it just a 2v4. And it's just down to what do you do here with a lot of time to play? The answer is you wait for Moose on the flank. He finds 1. Now all of a sudden you've got the Jet in a tough position. Can you isolate the pick before help can get here? They're going to go for it, but no, Mummy's good for 1.
Oh
and he's
my
going to
God.
catch Moose on the reload. Mummy for 3 and a free upgrade as he gets onto a Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, Mummy was the only one that didn't have a gun there, but he'll have 1 now. And the rest of Envy is all setting up plays over towards A, trapping the rest of LG. Can't really even get onto site until the end. Then even when they do get onto site, I mean, it's going to be Mummy coming out. Classic even for the 3 kills that he eventually gets. So twice now, I think, in rounds where Envy kind of really need to pull 1 through. You see the 2 rounds that Envy have, one Mummy definitely putting up the numbers to be able to get his team across the line. Top fragger so far, which is, equal to a Proto on 6, but Thief is really the one getting away with a lot here for the side of LG as we head into what's going to be around number 9 now. Envy have 2, and they need to be able to look for ways to try and even up at least 6 and 6 here. Like you said, LG are going to be more favored on the defense based on stats.
Aggressive hold Coming over through B main. Food really wants to challenge. The curveball will be there, but there will be no follow-up. And a lot of utility spent for not much ground on either side. But at least for now, Envy have denied the B main push. They're even going to commit the Algebra just to see what is exactly going on. And they will confirm 2 members nearby. You do have a double stack defensively for Envy through this dark cover in the mid catwalk. And depending on the timing here, between Finesse and Moose, could lead to a first blood, but point of contact will not come through, and now Food using the Blaze Wall to push forward, but Envy have not found much except a couple of spam shots will take down Proto, so first blood confirmed for Envy.
Well, there you go. As soon as the Blaze Wall does come down, Crashies finds the kill, so aggressive movements from Bing finally paying off. And you see for Envy, they've been trying to get stuff done over towards B several rounds in a row. Sometimes they have been punished. We go back to the earlier round where Food did kind of peek into 4 or 5 members, or 3 or 4 members, I should probably say. This time around, though, Thief gets his way across the mid-map onto Finesse. Here we go. Should be a B-split coming in through soon. So Mummy does pick up the first kill. Mummy gets the second one. That's going to be a B-split ruined.
Absolutely beautiful defense from Envy. Moose, the last player left alive. They know he's nearby. Recon Bolt and the curveball both missed, though, so timing could be everything. Moose is good for 1, not going to get a second. And Envy, that is a beautiful breakdown of exactly the same setup as you mentioned there. LG, same stack. You've got Thief just lurking over towards A, 1 player mid, 3 over through B main. And this time, Envy get first blood and then don't over-chow. It's a really good adjustment, and a required one is now they take 2 rounds in a row.
I mean, it's just sort of 2 rounds as well, where last time, you know, they were able to punish LG across A. This time was more B-centric as well. Mummy, great kills coming through from mid-market, completely stopping any opportunity for LG to make a split happen. And for LG, they already lost a player pretty early. It was the first player down. It didn't happen until a while in, but the point is, Crashy's opening up very quickly. Now the opposite could be true. Let's see if this Hunter's Fury can connect. Dre tries to swing it and gets punished.
Nothing as of yet, but they're still going to commit. Thief able to find a kill, but he's only on 4 HP, and as he tries to take the reshell with Proto, they will drop. So another beautiful hold on Envy as LG really wanted to hit the triggers early with the Hunter's Fury. Not going to connect, so again, just down to boost for 1v4.
Speaking of not connecting, Dre kind of almost dry swinging that one early.
Yeah.
And now Moose with all the work to do. He'll just be looking for damage. If anything, gets flash, gets kind of utility thrown his way. Has no more Hunter's Fury to work with. No recon for another 9 seconds either. He's still got a minute left to play, and the flank will come through eventually for Finesse, the player that will come and backstab. So no real further opportunity for Moose to pick up an additional kill. And now Envy is starting to really catch up here. Looking over towards money as well. It's a broken buy for LG.
Yep.
So we're looking at a situation, I mean, you said 40, was it 43% on attack
right around that
for
mark.
LG?
Yep.
I mean, they've kind of overperformed in that side already because they got the 6th, and that would be closer to 5 maybe in terms of 5-7. Envy is starting to really catch up now. Envy can realistically be confirming their 5th round here, and then the last round of this half could be anyone's game. Could still be a 7-5 start for LG, but the way it's going right now, Envy are looking for that 6.
You know, that little opening setup with the Hunter's Fury and then the Blast Pack peek from Dre is something that we've seen LG do on Split pretty regularly as well, just to try to catch Envy off guard. But they even forced the run it back defensively just to make sure that LG does not find success pushing forward. I really love the response from Envy there defensively. So now for Luminosity, what's going to be the gamble stack for this small pistol upgrade round? It looks like it's going to be through middle. Finesse is there. Camera will see maybe a touch of information, but of course they hear exactly where he's at. Dre, 1 tap is good. Lear comes out. Thief takes care of the trap wire. Second Lear is there. No one watching the backside, though. Finesse is blinded by this. And as Moose is able to find 1 kill, the help from Food gets there, and we will stay 3v3. But there are a couple of weapons on the ground here, and that's going to be enough for Food to try to take the retail. And Dre, who's able to find a Vandal, now all of a sudden turns LG into a favorable Thrifty situation with a 3v2.
Yeah, still 1 player alive on site, though. It's going to have to come down to Caboose. He needs a multi-frag. Boombot hasn't spotted him. He hasn't been spotted either. Paint Shell's barely going wide. Might take a tickle of a bit of damage still. And it's going to be Sheriff. Barrel is going to be Trey, a Proto. Your boy Trey can't get more done. Flash is successful as well for the 1v1. Caboose can do it. Sure, he's got this done. Stellar on 32, though. He's going to be able to confirm the shots twice. So Alan's going to come down to the 1v1.
Oh, and the shock dart is so well placed from Crashies. The first one went to default. The second one bounced a little bit wider. Oh man, you thought for a second that Stellar was going to get an opportunity. Just needed 1 headshot to connect, but better was the utility from Crashies. Looking like a billiards master out here. Just bank shot after bank shot. And now all of a sudden, Envy has won 5 out of the last 6. and they're just down around. I mean, we talked about how they really needed to find a way to at least go 50-50 on the defense. Boy, have they given themselves a great look at it.
Good news there is, at least for Envy, they were expected to win that round, but not without that many losses, though. Look at me. It was just down to the last player. Crash is alive, and going to the last round of the half now. You can see over towards B as well. Food is following the drone out. They don't see a Proto just yet who's hiding behind, I think, the little wall. Just Fury now coming through from Crash. He's found success with that on an earlier round, but will miss the shots this time. A decent amount of damage from utility. You can see that already Moose has been tagged up, so is Food.
And now just take a look for Luminosity. The opening ultimates for Envy have been used now. So for Luminosity, you've got an Empress, and of course you have the Showstopper. Will they try to combine that in some form? Thief is able to find first blood, Moose a second. The trades will be there, though, and that's enough for Envy to make sure that the Empress does get shut down. So now Dre, Showstoppers. There is nobody within a mile of him being able to use this, but it does clear space for them to get onto site, also using from the shadows to confirm they can get there. Mummy with the Blade Storm, now coming down, right click misses though, just a bit off, and Stellar punishing, now leaves Crash to try to defend against this. He'll find one, but can't do much beyond that, so it's Food for a 1v3, and he's trying to hit through tree.
Really surprised that Mummy went so early. You saw that Crash, he still had a recon dart as well. Enough Food, like you mentioned, in a 1v3 situation, still has one flash that would need to get a kill for this runner back, and still quite a bit to do.
Cam spots him out. Blaze Wall will be able to heal him right up to 100 HP. One curveball remaining. But the stack from Luminosity, they're going to delay. Paranoia coming through. There's the curveball. Does he get the peek? No, he does not. Dre responds, and LG are able to snap back, find the 12th round, and put them up 7-5, which of course brings us to our halftime break as we swap sides. Envy needing to find a way to respond. We'll find out if they can when we come back. Welcome back to LG versus Envy. After a nice little bounce back for Envy, it's LG, Avril, who take that crucial round 12 to give them a 7-5 advantage.
You can look at that 12th round as well. Again, Mummy swinging fairly early, jumping down the Blaze, so I'm not waiting for crashes in the recon bolt. We're coming a little bit late as well, but entering the new round now. Checking over towards A. It's going to be a Thief who wanted to look for information. Instantly punished by the 5 frenzies coming through from Envy, and it could be a very fast take on A.
Well, look, he finds the information, but it costs him something, something dearly. But Moose is able to respond, puts a shock dart out, and confirms the damage that was previously dealt by his counterpart. But the spike still comes down relatively freely. So for LG's retake, all 4 members coming over at least through glass at the moment. Dark cover will be able to block off the A pillars, and it looks like LG will try to gamble stack this re-hit from heaven. Nice little softball touch over the top will make sure no one's hiding in the corner. No one is, though. Defensively now for Envy on their post plant, they're set up all around the site, but definitely not where they think they may be. But on the retake, LG able to clear a lot of space. Now it's just down to 2, and Food can't find anything. Finesse only 1. And what a retake. Very diligent from LG on the clear.
Just one by one there, you see Crashes go down first. They sweep all their corners, get another kill. It seems like Envy aren't able to effectively trade. Yeah, they lose a play. They need to be able to trade another play instantly. They have to be able to swing off each other, and it just doesn't really happen on this post plant. A bunch of frenzies. They get the opening kill onto Thief, and from then onwards, pretty fast plant. Everything going their way. Comes down to LG cleanly, again, checking their corners, checking every single angle that Envy could be hiding in as we head into now anti-eco, a second pistol that LG are able to win to make sure they're still ahead now by 3 rounds. It will be 4 by the time this anti-eco is over.
Well, we know how good these frenzies can be, so definitely do not rule out Envy, but an opening shock dart actually chews up a lot of health from both Food and Crashies. High value, as we've seen continually from Moose. With these shock darts in Stellar or otherwise in middle of the map, we'll find first blood, and a couple players just trying to straggle in, and my goodness, how good has Thief been? Those are some crispy shots for a double.
Especially long range as well. Don't expect that every day from the Stinger, and well, here comes a Proto with his own Stinger. Again, just a pistol round coming through from Envy, and another flawless as well. Reminder, we saw a flawless original anti-eco in that first half, so kind of repeating the performance here. Pretty clean pistol into a flawless anti-eco. If we are going to repeat history even further, it does come down to the fact that LG then won what ended up being Envy's buy round of that round number 3, which is going to be this round again. So Envy, a lot of diligence required. They were kind of struggling with that particular round, but I guess the difference would have been LG had an extra rifle there. They had an extra Bulldog there as well. Remember, Dre, he had that Vandal. This time it's just 4 Stingers, 1 Spectre.
LG's defense, again, has been where they've largely been able to win Ascent in the past. Talked about that previously, and I think you're kind of seeing why. I mean, the due diligence of clearing so many tight angles with a little softball toss of the paint shells and dark cover blocking off ARAMs, and everything was just... They knew exactly how the clear was going to happen, and then the flawless run afterwards. This is a wide peek from Thief, and he gets deleted by Food. So that will lead to Envy now getting out of the site. It just comes down to, can they cleanly hold the post plant? LG will rotate. Similar situation as far as how they were able to take off the pistol, but of course now the weaponry much different.
Really weird swing from Thief as well. I mean, it's a long-range Stinger. It was effective last time versus pistol, but certainly not versus the Vandal. You know that Envy are on a buy round. Plant should be coming through momentarily, so one chance here for the rest of LG to try and swing and try their will, but Dre goes down swiftly as well. Food for 3 this round.
Looking for potentially the ace. In LG, they could still play for exits if they so choose. Mummy. Nice response to Stellar. And the last player left alive will be Moose. He's mid-map with just a Stinger. Likely not going to make much use out of it, but he does have one contestant nearby. It's still Mummy. He would be tucked into this right corner. And as the challenge comes out, awkward situation there as Mummy wasn't sure if he wanted to updraft Tailwind or maybe do both at the same time. But he still confirms the kill, and now Envy will go flawless as they make it just a 3-round differential.
Yeah, Song and a Dance there coming through from
something
Mummy
like that.
in this Valorant musical of the day here between Envy and LG. But it's a good thing that he gets this kill in terms of looking over towards the resource and ult economy for Envy. As fun as it would be for Food to get this ace, he already has to run it back. So 2 extra kills would have been wasted in terms of at least ult charge. Working towards Mummy's Blade Storm is fairly important, and equally important now is Envy winning their gun round. And as a reminder, part of the reason why LG won that initial round 3 in that first half is because they had an extra couple of rifles, especially the Vandal coming through on Dre. But a couple of early plays coming through from LG, not really paying dividends. Again, Thief swinging with the Stinger long range versus Vandal. Not really ideal. Food picking up a couple of extra kills. But this is going to be the round that could actually define most of the tempo of the second half. We're looking to number 4. Guns abound, 5 guns per team. No full armor for Stellar and Proto, though, so that's the only missing pieces.
And expect to see Food hit the run it back here, and largely it'll be on the backside of whatever Crashies finds for information off either the Aldron or the Recon Dart. So expect to see them kind of huddled up together as a duo to see if they can scout out some information. Shock darts, spam shots, Boost again confirming a lot of damage. He gets a
Wow.
headshot through the wall onto Food. Tragedy for Envy as they really wanted to use that run it back this round. And now with only 45 seconds to play, they find themselves in a 4v5. Your boy Dre, Boombot, will read information that there are contestants immediately close over towards Tree. As Steve is able to find one kill, he gets caught with the paint shells out. Caboose finds the trade, and we go 3v4 with 30 seconds needed to find a way to get onto a site.
Caboose in a great position, though, is getting a little bit of heat coming through from Thief. Will eventually get taken down by Seller. Seller 2 versus 2, or 2 versus 3 now, or 2 versus 2 as Mummy picks up the last kill required. As now be able to finally get a plant in. Still 30 seconds left for another recon, so that's going to be Moose using that utility. Now they have to try and get this retake done without the recon bolt, which is going to be difficult.
Okay, they do get the information that Mummy is going to be playing deep side by the A archways. Damage has been exchanged. Proto on the fall down is good for the kill. Crashing never really even touched him. And the long-range shots from Proto. Mummy found the first, tried to snap on, but isn't able to lock it in. And LG on their gun round snap back, and they put themselves up 10-6.
On 5 HP as well, Proto just snapping onto Mummy, converting the kill. Getting both of the last 2 kills required in that 2v2 as well. So you talked about a Proto really coming alive now for LG. That would be the example of that. An important round for LG to make sure they don't have their economy broken. Still not safe, though. It's a really, really dangerous kind of round for both teams. 1 player surviving across all 10 will be enough to just scrape through enough guns for roughly both sides, minus the fact that Stella's going to have to go into the Bulldog. And this is where I think Ultimates are going to come into play big time. Mummy technically didn't have to buy this round because the Blaze but he will have the money to do so anyway. Most players across both teams are either 2 or maybe just 1 point away from their ultimate.
Big kill from Thief. Takes down Mummy from mid-map. That's going to make that really difficult for Envy. They have to try to clear this space out. Not a decision they want to make, but they will do their diligence. Curveball doesn't connect. Run it back, comes through. Food's able to find the response, not just once, but twice. Takes out Dre as well. So now the run it back can actually clear the A site. This is going to lead to a free plant for Crashies, likely, unless Moose decides he wants to show some more magic with his shock darts. He will try to take use of the paranoia that was beautifully played from Stellar, but the kills will not be there. Just down to Proto. 1v4 situation, finds the first. Able to sidestep the paranoia, but it's from below that Crashies is able to wall bang, or boardwalk bang, if you want to call it, whatever. And NV find themselves a beautiful bounce back. Just down 3 again, and they've put LG in a bit of a financial predicament.
And honestly, massive kill from Crashies there as well. You did see the paranoia go on top of him, but the timing wasn't right. I mean, you saw, who was it? I believe it was a Proto dropping down from heaven trying to swing. Was it maybe Moose trying to swing? In either case, LG tried to get that kill into Crashies. The paranoia just disappears as the 1v1 actually starts to happen, and Crashies even heard the drop down as well, obviously because the noise being made, wins that 1v1, converts onto another kill, gets the plant down. Envy is just going to be the catch-up now because they're 3 away. Let me check in for any early aggression coming through from A main. Not going to find it. It's actually 2 players over towards short. Food just testing the water over towards B as well.
Yeah, this is all just scouting for information if you're Envy. Caboose, short side, cat stairs. Maybe a bit dangerous as LG did double peek for a second to the middle of the map, but not going to come through. It's actually Caboose from the staircase, able to find Stellar on the cross out of mid-mark. You see that blue X in the middle of your map? That's exactly where the angle he found it from. So an opening first blood for Envy in a 5v4 where you expect them to take the 8th round here.
And look how safe Envy are playing as well. They know because LG are on pistols, they could be doing something aggressive. And eventually just waiting for sight lines here. Somebody will cross through, and that someone was going to be... Who was it that died? It was Estella. So now as we start heading towards the 40-ish second mark, you do have to start seeing some moves out of Envy, and I think there's going to be delivered one over as well. Would like to be able to pick up a gun. If he did get a gun, that could be the Empress. Will eventually go down now as we head towards the 30-second mark. A plant will have to come through soon. It comes down to a Proto to try and get some work done.
Recon Bolt will still connect off of its first kind of scant and be on the way through, though. Deal with him without much problem whatsoever. And Mummy from the backside, make sure that no rotators can come in freely. So it's just down to Drake. 1v4 situation. And just a Sheriff, I think he's going to try to scout and see if maybe he can see if this weapon is still on the ground. Yeah, they're marking for it. But you also see Caboose is here to try to challenge this exact situation. Trapwire deleted, cannot get the gun up in time. Caboose for 3 of the round, and Envy, as expected, take the 8th round.
Yeah, Trapwire might be deleted, but I think the real trap coming through is Caboose just waiting and along B main, swinging as soon as the trap wire gets destroyed. Look, Dre dying still gets him the showstopper, so not the worst result for LG to get a couple of kills there, work on their ultimates. They're just one away from Moose now, nearly getting all 5, and across the entire lobby now, 8 out of 10 players have their ultimates. This is going to be where LG can afford again. Odin for Moose as well. It's pretty low cash in the reserves here for LG, so if they don't win this one, it's going to look pretty bad. Expecting most of these ultimates to be used yet.
Could have fireworks this round here, Kevin. 8 total ultimates that could be available to be played, although you don't expect some to come through like the Bladestorm, but LG, they will take use of a first blood, just coming right through B main. Crashies trying to respond to the pressure by getting the Hunter's Fury out, but he only connects once, and Proto makes sure that mid-map stays safe, so the opening pressure for Envy absolutely thwarted, and with the neural theft coming out, LG will read that this 5v3 situation is a very comfortable one for them for now.
Instantly scares Mummy away as well. Revealed over towards B main. Not going to hang around too long. 3 plays alive for Envy. They need to try and isolate at least a kill somewhere. Proto in towards Tree. Do they check left? Do they check him at all? Cage will be dropping down in a moment. So who's going to win that 1v1? Mummy still needs to cross. Mummy will have to be contacted. He goes down. So does the Spike. And it's just going to be down to Crash. He's alone in a 1v4. What is going to happen here? Not going to have a lot more success. Proto gets 3 kills. Thief is going to be the consolation prize, and for LG, though, they get the real prize in terms of actually getting the round.
NT, though, I mean, you saw him try to hit, he thought he had the full damage onto Dre, tries to get the transfer off, but unfortunately didn't connect the last bullet required to take down the raised player, let alone the transfer would have been hard-pressed to get there, but nearly had the opportunity. But regardless, LG on 11-8, still enough economy here for Envy to purchase, and they're going to bring Mummy an operator to play with here in our 20th round.
And 2 away from LG as well, getting this map done and dusted. Ascent would be theirs momentarily. Just a couple more clean plays. Crashies gets flashed up, and that's actually going to be now the Hunter's Fury, maybe getting the kill. Moose is so close. Crashies barely sidesteps that one. No one was there to swing either. I mean, typically we see the paranoia coming in. Someone's going to be there to capitalize. That person would have probably have been Dre, typically, because normally it is the jet play, but you got no jet for the side of LG. Trap wire broken in mid as well. It's going to force particularly maybe a rotation from LG to address the fact that they've lost control on mid.
Well, they actually seem okay giving it up. I mean, you can kind of see on your minimap right now, Thief is just watching the angle from the backside of B through spawn. And they're just trusting that Proto can hold on to this camera to read any information over towards B before he has to turn his attention. So it's still a stack towards A, and it's a gamble that they have not predicted correctly for the moment, but this is still 2 defensive members passively that can make some action happen. Empress is going to get popped. 40 seconds on the clock, and the hit's going to come through. Damage will be mostly confirmed, but Thief's able to find the first kill. So now he gets that back. Proto from the back corner. Good for a first and a second. Now turns his attention to the staircase, but no help required. A 2v5 for LG on the hold. Absolutely unreal as they find themselves on map point.
Yeah, the giveaway mid-market there. Thief doesn't think about, challenging anything. He doesn't need to.
Thank you.
We'll just wait for the rest of Envy to flood on through. The Empress is popped inside the smoke. He swings on food. I mean, they tried to check him with utility. You saw, I believe, the hot hands came in. A shock bolt came in into the smoke as well. Thief takes maybe a little bit of damage. 25 kills to 14. The first player to breach 20 on the server. The next place player here is a Proto on 17, so Thief is really taking matters into his own hands here, and the Empress plus Proto holding backside enough to get all 5 kills for the Flawless, and now Envy up against map point, still 4 away from going to OT. They need to get it done here. Finesse onto a Proto, and the runner back is confirmed.
Oh, so much information here. Moose falls, that's the spike down. Oh, and the neural theft will be enough for Mummy to get the peak. Find the elimination with the Bladestorm, immediately collect the spike, and then get the plant down. Lurking long is food over towards A, but he's so far behind the play that he might not even be a factor for LG in this 3v4. Make it really just essentially a 3v3. Now food coming back over through Tree. The hit coming through Market though for the retake. Crashies, good timing, finds the first kill, but now we go over towards the site. Mummy with the Bladestorm out. Thief trying to challenge, and Finesse peeks with him. Dre by himself, can't do too much. And Envy, they find themselves number 9, and with that, they should be much more healthy here for the economy going into what would need to be their 10th round.
Yeah, not going to make the same mistake of just losing to 2 players on B this time around, although I got to say, Thief wasn't there, so maybe he could have been the difference maker. And they, Envy are going to be able to get this plant the kills required. You see some nice attempt from a Proto there. Will get dismantled by Mummy eventually using Bladestorm, picks up the Yoda, eventually swaps it over for the Vandal that's now in his hands, and still 3 around from confirming OT. Still plenty of money for LG to play with for now. LG are probably unlikely to be actually running out of money anytime soon. If we actually get to the 24th round, the one that would give Envy the overtime here, that actually might be the round that LG starts to really feel the pain of the economy if they lose more. LG still at map point here. LG just need to be playing this one diligently. Food back over towards mid. There's a camera there. The camera should be looking at him right now.
Well, again, the middle of the map is completely freely open. There is a camera that's trying to scout this out. And you see the pings in the minimap. They know that food is here. And Moose just spams. Oh, man. I mean, how creative is this from LG? I don't imagine a world where Envy would sit there and say, wait, I'm through the middle of the map for free. There's nobody here. No one's peeking over the boathouse.
Wow.
Doesn't matter because Moose finds a second. Envy will find 1 kill, but the spam down. Almost good enough. But meanwhile, the defensive rotations have been dealt with. Thief off screen has found a kill. That's over by A, though. And so now Envy have to make a decision as far as how they want to rotate around in Crashies. Oh, boy, brother. Good thing you got that kill. That would have been a pretty bad turn on. But Envy on low HP will rotate over. Stellar here defensively to try to deal with it. Recon Bolt will come out.
left.
Stellar won't even shoot it. He's trying to bait this rotation in. There's
remaining.
1. Knows the second is on the site. Challenge. Coming through.
standing.
Crashy's good for his 3rd. He'll get the spike down.
Stella didn't actually even need to challenge it. If he just buys time, a little bit more time for his teammate to get in here. 31 HP for Crash. He's now in a 1v1. The last 1v1 that could decide it, and this could be Moose. Just needs to get the swing. A bit of damage would be enough to get Crashies down.
Trying for the right click. Knows that. He's got Crashy low. Another jump peek coming through. Crashies, though, finesses beautifully. 4 kills for Crashies. Envy still alive. And what does that mean for LG's bank? They're mostly okay.
It's looking worse. Like I said, I mean, it's looking worse. They probably will have enough money to play with until maybe the last round here. Even after this buy, yeah, there'll be a full loss bonus as well, so they'll probably be okay. I think that 24th round is when will really start to hurt, and that's what Envy are looking for right now. And you got to talk about Crashies there. This is the guy that's been right on my mind as soon as we got into this match, because, again, reviewing tape at Envy, Crashies has been so consistent, such a dangerous player on the top of the kill feed, top of the leaderboard for the Envy side of things. Nearly had a situation there as well. If Crashies doesn't get the kill on Thief, I think Thief is in a much better situation. Again, looking towards Stella, maybe peeking a little too early, trying to take that 1v1. And they could have played for the 2v1 if he just buys a bit more time, but that's in a past round as we move forward. LG are still technically on that point here, but it just feels like they're losing control of the game.
Yeah, sure does. Hunter's Fury could be used for a post plant if they so choose to need it. 4-man gamble stack for Envy mid-map. There is no trap wire here. Again, a different look for LG defensively over by B. They're stacking all of the Cypher utility right around the boathouse, and Moose is going to be here as well. So tons of information tools. And with that, LG will have to essentially triple stack, leaning over towards A. Watching the middle is Stellar, and I'm sure he sees 1 player cross. There's a second. Yeah, he takes a couple of shots, but now it's going to be on to Proto. Comes around, finds the first, tries to transfer the second, but no. Rechanges his focus up top. He gets himself Crashies instead, but Food! Just a touch better. Doubles down, keeps things at 3v3. Thief able to find finesse, so there will be a numbers advantage for LG on the retake, but the spike will be down.
The good news is Food does get a little bit of healing done. He was on critical HP, but still not a lot to work with here. Still plenty for Thief, though. Second layer is about to come on through. 150 HP. 2 plays life for Envy, and they got a swing.
Food's able to find his 3rd elimination. 1v2, finds it! Is he good for the 5th? No, Stellar! Just able to lock things down, but goodness did Food give it a go. NT's all around, but it's LG who strike first in the series on their map pick.
Defenders
13 to 10.
On to this moment.
What a first map.
Stop here.
And so much of that comes down to the first half as well. A 6-1 lead that Luminosity begin with, including 5 rounds in a row, including that round number 3, including a flawless anti-eco in that round 2 as well. They start to lose a little bit of control in the second half of the first half, so I guess the second quarter of the entire map, you could probably say. But starting to look across the, most of these rounds here, it really comes down to pistol plus anti-eco that Envy weren't really getting in their favor. They had some nice rounds, though. I mean, you did start to feel towards the end of that first half as well, when Envy wins that Thrifty, they start swinging through a few more rounds. They get 4 in a row towards the end as well. They couldn't quite get that last round. Again, we have to look at that round number 12, where they had some pretty good numbers, but they kind of just going one by one, didn't really work together there. They still had a recon available. That could have been an extra round. nearly made the overtime happen, but too many rounds, too long. LG spent in that point, and eventually LG just need one good round. Stella comes through. He's the person you need, and it's enough.
Well, close is usually only good in horseshoes, hand grenades, and I think some would argue curling. But we're going to send things to a break. We'll be able to come back and kind of give you the full recap on what you may have missed in map number 1, and then we'll, of course, be setting up map number 2. It's going to be fine that Envy need to respond on if they want to see map number 3. We'll be back right after this.
Contrast stitching, curves that'll hug your body, adjustable arms, custom embroidery, memory foam pillows, changeable color inserts, lay flat recline, removable logos, soft durable material. Yeah. Like what you see, baby? Zip chair.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
I feel like I need to defend my scene's honor here, because this is just turning into a bit of a dog battle.
Like in groups always look.
I'm cutting you off here. I'm cutting you off. Cutting you off. He said G2's winning it. He said G2's winning it.
We need to wait till the next EU tournament, which could be in about 10 years now.
Take it with like a grain of salt.
No,
but
that's
that
no
being
fun.
said,
Take it super literally.
Spike defused.